Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Belle and this is the Belle Perspective. Happy 2022, happy new year. I just came back from vacation. I'm not gonna lie to you, I am a little bit under the weather. It started as like a scratchy throat just for like a little bit, for like maybe a couple minutes, and then it actually left. I didn't feel that anymore, and then it started to feel like somebody was sitting on my head. So I thought it was sinus congestion, but I'm not sure what it is, because there was fatigue, there was fever, like I was like so hot. Like, I'm going to get tested, but here in the DMV, here in DC where I live, the testing site that I was going to, that I wanted to go to, ridiculously line. I mean, just the lines literally wrapped down the block. So it's craziness. Anyway, I know y'all saw that Arian Curry interview with Tasha K. Baby, we're going to talk about all of that. Do you hear me when I say foolishness resides down at the Curry house? The Arian Curry house, or whatever you want to call it, child. It's some foolery and foolishness and foolery going on. Some tomfoolery going on. But you know what? We're going to talk about that in a separate video. And so this video is my review over Ready to Love. I did have an opportunity to watch it while I was in the hotel. Sick. It didn't spoil my vacation, but it did kind of put a little bit of a damper on it because I was sick and I didn't get to do exactly what I wanted to do. By the way, I spent the new year in New Orleans. Got a good opportunity to hang out on Bourbon Street a couple times. Ate some good food. Spent some time with my honey, so it was cool. It was really cool. Really good opportunity. I think New Orleans is my favorite place to go. I don't want to live there at all. Not my place to live, but it's definitely my place to visit for sure. So when you get an opportunity, definitely go on down there, check it out, and let me know how you feel, what food you ate, and where you would go next time. So anyway, without further ado, let's get into this review. So, Ready to Love. This is the 9th episode. I think it's 10 episodes. I think it's we're almost done. We're wrapping things up. Praise God, because I'm over it. I'm literally over it. Like, there's no more story to tell. Let's just wrap this shit up. Okay, that's how I feel, right? So we how does the episode start off? And forgive me because I do have a little bit of a brain fog, just a little bit. I probably should have made notes on this, but I did not. Y'all are probably gonna want to fight me about my comments on Phil, because how I feel, or not on Phil, but on Shiloh, because I feel like Shiloh definitely exaggerated the issue. And I take Phil's side. So, you know, argue with your mama. I don't know and I don't care. Okay. So people are getting the opportunity women are having the opportunity to introduce their potentials to their family. I don't understand why they're doing this. And the reason why I say that is because none of them has chosen anyone just yet. So why would we do that? Anywho, I guess it creates a drama, kind of adds a little bit more perspective. I don't know. Anyway, so woman introduces Frank to her family. I honestly, and her dad, oh my God, her dad was so cute. Like, he was just like he reminded me of the man off of Black Panther. He reminded me of the dad off Black Panther. Not Chadwick, but well, the person who played Chadwick Boseman's character. Why am I forgetting Chadwick's character? T'Challa. Thank you. He reminded me of T'Challa's dad in the show, and I thought it was kind of cute. So anyway, he was just so excited for her. He was like, praise God, she's finally bringing a man home. She's gonna get married. Oh Lord, you know, the Lord has answered our prayers. So, you know, thank you, Jesus. Praise the Lord, right? And she was like, Dad, relax, Dad. It's not, you know, we're in a process. This is part of the process. He's meeting you just to kind of see what my family is like. It was her dad, her uncle, and her sister. And apparently Frank is from South Africa. He goes by a different name, which I know that to be true. I remember I went to a hookah spot one time in Arlington, and there were some Nigerian men, I think they were Nigerian. I don't remember. This was last year. And they were talking about how they have their American name, but then they also have their tribal name, their village name as well. So I thought that was pretty interesting, in that when people are named, their names are tied back to their village. So if someone were to get lost, they ask you what your name is, and by the coding of your name, they know what village you belong to. So I thought that was pretty cool. I like the way that, and this is what the men at the hookah lounge explained to me. So anyway, back to Ready to Love. So, so Frank explains to Moomin's family that he is South African. He's first American born. His original name is something different. Frank is kind of like his American name, I guess. And that he completely is in alignment with, with fathers from the continent. I don't want to just say Africa, because there's countries within the continent, right? It's not just, that would be like saying America without acknowledging all of the states within the country, right? Or, or saying North America without acknowledging that there's Canada and then the US and then Mexico. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to disrespect the continent. We don't do that around here. Not intentionally, at least. So, because it's the birthplace of all things. All right? Argue with your mama. Anyway, so back to what I was saying. Honestly, I felt like they were picking up on Frank's bullshit. Remember, I think Frank is a fuckboy. I really do. He's probably not going to show the fuckboy fuckery in this extent, because at this point, this season has not given. I feel like there are so many blankets that are not blankets, but masks that people are wearing. So I'm not really seeing the realness. No real is actually happening or taking place. I don't know. I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed with this season. I think this season is probably one of the most boring. And it's sad to say, because I live in DC, but it's probably the most boring, and I'm just really ready for it to be over. By the way, I heard that they're hosting auditions, which is always kind of weird when they say auditions. I heard they're hosting auditions for Ready to Love Miami. So that'll be interesting. Y'all know I'm from Florida originally, not Miami. I'm from Jacksonville, which is North Florida, Duval. Y'all know that. Y'all already know. Anyway, I'm from North Florida. However, it's always interesting and cool to hear when people come down and visit any of the beautiful cities of the state of Florida. Don't stay long, because they're ignorant. But it's always cool to go visit. The beaches are beautiful. The sun is always shining, and you can find you a good drink. However, they ignorant down there. I ain't gonna lie to you. All right, moving forward. So I feel like Moomin's family sensed Frank's bullshit, but they also were like, okay, this is a part of the process. They kind of like rationalized it away, and I see where Moomin gets it, because their first initial interpretation of Frank was spot on. They were kind of just like, we don't really know about him like that. We're not 100% sold. And then Frank also talked about, that he is interested in another woman. The dad was like, listen, hey boy, hey. These not his words, but these, this is what if it was one of my dad or something like that. Hey boy, I know that you out here or whatever, but you're not going to be playing with my daughter, okay? You're not going to be playing with her. You hear me? Basically is what he said. Play with her or you get played with, okay? All right? We don't play. Play the radio, okay? Don't play me. Play the radio. That's basically what her daddy said. After Frank left, and again, Frank gives such pageantry answers, so it's always really hard. Like I'd be like, Frank, go down to wherever you came from, sir. I'm sure you're nice. I'm sure you're cool, but as far as like really dating him, I would not advise. It is ill advised. Okay, I would behoove you to run the other way. All right. Unless you like that kind of thing, I don't. Anyway, so Moomin's family, again, from initial interpretation, weren't necessarily sold on him, but I think they kind of rationalized it away, and then they just kind of was like, well, maybe he'd be a good fit. Sister was then like, yeah, you know, I'm not sure, but, you know, he would kind of look good on your arm on the red carpet. I'm like, girl, I thought you just said he wasn't. Okay, girl. Anyway, but whatever. They kind of just rationalized it, or rationalized it away. I'm hopping all over the place, by the way, just letting you know. Sabrina and Walter, again, Sabrina's still saying Walter does not spend any time with her when they are not on camera. She's saying that she does not hear from him like that. And she says she still feels like she sees red flags. Girl, if you see red flags, go with them. Go with them. Do not collect. Do not collect $200. Go girl. Just go. Get up out of there. Go on, sis. Go. You know what I'm saying? But this is me in a mature state, you know, and I know Sabrina is mature. She is not a young gal. She not on some young gal shit. So I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, but what can she really do, right, at this point? So her cousin meets Walter via Zoom or some sort of, you know, virtual meeting room. Cousin likes him, doesn't see any red flags, thinks he's okay. I, again, am heavily concerned because Sabrina is not vocalizing her concerns with her cousin. Had she had done that, then I'm sure her cousin would have been like, maybe we need to look more into that. Maybe that's something we need to talk about and talk through. But she didn't. I'm assuming what I did not see. Again, I did not see this on camera. I did not see this elsewhere. I'm assuming she did not have that conversation. I'm assuming she did not alert her cousin. Because again, if I was cousin and she told me he wasn't reaching out to her like that, I'd be like, okay, that's a flag. Because if a man really want to be with you, he's reaching out to you regularly, all the time. You're hearing from him all the time. So I'm not sure what that's about. I'm not sure what's going on there. And my eye has been on Walter for a minute anyway. I don't trust him like that. So Aisha and Dante. Aisha meets Dante meets Aisha's parents or mother and her brother. Her brother's name is Aday, and I love that name. Oh my God, I love that name, Aday. That is such a, I wonder, you know, I need to go look that up. I need to look it up. I want to look it up. I want to see what it means. I want to see, you know, where it comes from, its origins. I love that name. Absolutely. And I have a thing about like names. I like to look up the names. I like to know where they came from, the origin, that kind of thing. Aday. I love that name. That's a very nice name. Ooh, forgive me, y'all. Sorry. Anyway, pardon me. And I still haven't learned how to edit the things out with the software, so I'm gonna have to leave that in there. I'm sorry, y'all. Pardon me. Anyway, so they ask about the baby mamas, you know, what's going on with that, and he basically says 2 of them have already moved on. We have an amicable relationship. 2 of them are married. You know, one of them is the other one is cool. We're not on that, you know, drama. He's saying she don't have to worry about nobody rolling up to the house, basically. And he was like, no, nobody, none of that kind of stuff. And Dante did bring flowers. I thought it was all right, but I was like, you didn't bring Aisha no flowers? But the only reason why he only brought flowers for her mom. But the only reason why I thought that is because I saw Phil, and Phil brought flowers for mom and Sydney, and we'll talk about that in just a second. And I was kind of like, well, damn, you're not going to bring nothing for Aisha? All right, cheapo, cheapo. But child, he got them damn 3 kids. So that's what I thought. I'm like, child, you got them damn 3 kids. He probably can't afford but 1 bushel of flowers. So anywho, so I see where Aisha gets her, like, Aisha has a a tempered, a wise, kind of an even keel attitude in her questionings. Is very thoughtful. Her mother is the same way. Her mother was very thoughtful with her questions. She really took her time to think about what she wanted to say. There's my honey. Her mother thought about what she wanted to say. He just text me. I love seeing his name on my phone. Yeah, so I really really liked the way she asked the questions and posed the questions to Dante. They were realistic questions. I appreciated that. Yeah, I think nothing else major out of that was, you know, to be had or to be said. So then we'll move to Phil and Shiloh. By the way, I had no idea Phil was Haitian. It's always interesting to hear other Haitian people. My mother is American. I was raised with my mother. My father was Haitian. I never grew up with him. I didn't learn anything about Haiti. I know nothing about my father's side of the family. However, it's always good to see and hear about other Haitian people, especially about them doing well. And, you know, it's always just good. It's always good to see and be able to identify and see yourself in other people, if that makes any sense. And be like, okay, all right, it's cool, right? It's kind of like the obligatory black nod, like, all right, yeah, you know? So, anyway, so Phil is Haitian. I did not know that. That's good information to know. It's always cool to know that kind of thing. So yeah, so Phil meets with Sydney's parents. Now, Sydney and Sydney's mom and her dad give me that they're very close. Sydney's mom was like, oh my God, Sydney, I love your place. And I was just like, that made me think this not her place. Because there is no way that is the first time you've ever seen your daughter's place with y'all being so close like that. I just refuse to believe that. Anywho, so I'm like, so that's not your place. Okay. And that's okay because there's a lot of people that rent Airbnbs and shit like that. So I'm who are me to judge, right? Who are me? So yeah. Anywho, I think Sydney's mom gives retired Real Housewives of Potomac, like she don't work. She just gives me, she doesn't work. She take care of her dogs are her kids. She calls her dogs Sydney's brother and sister. So I'd be like, child, okay, child, all right. She was asking him all questions about his finances and all that kind of stuff, and wow. I think that Sydney really likes Phil. And it's kind of on the fence. She's picking up what I'm picking up as well. I know she is, because there's just like this uncertainty about Frank. So she really likes Phil. The family really likes Phil. Phil went all out. He bought her this nice ass bushel of flowers. He got her mama a nice ass bushel of flowers. Got the dad something and everything. I mean, it was just so, he did really well. I feel like he did really well. It was cool. Sydney likes Phil a lot, and it's easy with them. I don't think that they're a good match, but I think in order to survive the show, under the guise of the show, just have them be together at this point. All right, Phil and Shiloh. Now, I already had, I don't want to say reservations about Shiloh, but I was just kind of like, how are you, intimacy coach, looking for love? But then I was like, man, probably don't be so hard on her. You know, finding love, being in love is not the easiest thing, right? You can't make somebody fall in love with you. So apparently they went to a bar, and Shiloh was pressuring Phil for an answer on what he wanted, who he wanted to be with. And so I guess words were exchanged. They had been drinking. Later we confirmed that Phil only had one shot. Shiloh had how many ever. And so she's probably white girl wasted. And so words were exchanged. She wanted space. She said she wanted to walk away. I guess she started walking down on a dark alley or wherever, and it'd be some dark ass alleys wherever bar they went. I'm assuming they probably were on a bar on U Street, and you don't want to be walking down none of them dark ass alleys over there. When I tell you sketchy sketch, boy, that shit is scary as fuck. I literally, like, when I'm walking, I'm looking. Like, you got to look down them corners, because you never know what the fuck is gonna be down in them alleys. You really never know. Anyway, so she said she wanted space. She didn't want to be bothered. She did not want to be touched. Phil grabbed her up and moved her. Now, when she first brought it up and said it, I was like, oh no, not him touching her, not him. What? Like, oh no, you don't touch somebody after they've already expressed that they don't want to be touched. But then when Phil puts his side of the story there, it makes sense. He said there was a dark alley. She was, we had a few drinks. He didn't even say that. He was like, she was going down a dark alley. If I had not intervened, I would have been held responsible for that. What would have happened next? I don't know what would have happened next. And I immediately just was like, okay, I get that. And not because I'm just so quick to forgive some man or anything like that, because listen, you do not put your hands on nobody, no matter whether you're a man or a woman. If someone asks you to not touch them, that's it. Do not touch them. Leave them alone. Leave it alone. Go on your own, right? Go on your separate way. But it was late at night. Actually, it was early in the morning. It was like 5 a.m. They had been out at the bar until 4 or 5 in the morning. So God knows what was going. And when I tell you, the shit really be popping off. Like, I live in the city, and again, a lot of people say they live in DC and they be living in all kinds of other places. I live in the city. I live in the Northeast Quadrant, and it literally be so much going on outside at night, and I'm like, who the fuck is that outside? And it'd be 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. I mean, it doesn't sleep. The city doesn't sleep, and it is literally a lot going on. They have a very, very large unsheltered population. Now that it's cold, but when they were filming this, it was warm outside, so anything could have been happening. So even if I didn't agree with him touching me, I would be like, okay, I understand the logic as to why. Like, it wasn't anything, it didn't sound malicious. It sounded genuine from the way he said it. Now, if he was lying about it, he's a great actor, but I just did not gather that from him. But child, they are in, so they meet with Tommy, explain the situation. Tommy, which I don't know why we had Tommy talk about this. This is why I feel like we need a professional to come on, because he's just a comedian. There's really not a whole lot he could have said or done in this scenario. But anyway, so after that conversation, Tommy basically poses to them and says, is there anything still there? Is there something still there? And Phil, doesn't say anything just yet. And Shiloh, you could kind of tell she was going to say anything. She was going to say something. But then when Phil didn't say anything, she stopped. She stopped herself. She really wanted that answer. She really wanted that answer from him. And I think she already knew what it was, but she really wanted to hear him say it. And I think I feel like he could have, I don't know. I don't know with Phil, because I didn't know if he really liked her more than Sydney. I couldn't tell. So, They ended up meeting. So they end up meeting in the ladies' lounge. All the women start talking about their, the way that their families, interact with everyone. And then Shiloh says that she felt uncomfortable with the way that he, approached, the way he did things. She didn't feel comfortable enough for Phil to meet Shiloh's family. And so Sydney and everybody was like, Phil? What? Like, who? You talking about Phil? Like, our Phil? She was like, yeah, he basically put his hands on me. And they asked her, well, do you feel like he was trying to do it intentionally? They asked her twice. Tommy asked her when Phil was there. So, do you feel like he was trying to harm you? No, I don't feel like he was trying to harm me. In the women's powwow, do you feel like he was trying to physically harm you? No, I don't. She was saying, no, I don't feel like he was trying to physically harm me. So all the women are shooketh, right? What the hell is this lady's name? Sydney was like, I've never seen or heard anything like that about Phil. Do you mind if I, approach him with the scenario? Or do you mind if I approach and talk to him and see what it is? And then Sydney in her confessional, she was like, she's like tearing down his character. I've never seen anything negative. And a lot of people I can tell were kind of like, and even I thought about this. I was like, damn, that kind of reminded me of Naim in recent episodes when he was shocked about Zadia's behavior. But I think, number one, Naim admitted that he saw negative behavior in his confessional. He actually did say, I saw negative behavior, but and I'm hoping that she'll do better. So for him to blatantly say, I saw it, but then in front of the guys, he was just like, she didn't treat me that way. It's kind of like he was trying to imply, what the hell did you do to her to make her act out like that? And it was just kind of like, dude, all right. I just don't feel like it's the same. I don't feel like it's under the same context. Or the way it was received the same. I love the way the way Sydney handled it. She was like, do you mind if I talk to him about this? Do you mind if I broach him with this? Because I've never seen or heard anything like that before, and I want to get to the bottom of that. And so they end up wrapping up. Tommy says they're not going to do any eliminations with at this point. I feel like Shiloh, which eventually she does, Shiloh self-eliminates herself because there's nothing else for her. And I think that there's only one other person on, and that's Moomin. And honestly, I think that Shiloh and Phil are going to pair off, because between between Sydney and Phil, Sydney wants to choose Phil and Phil is going to choose Sydney. So Frank is probably going to get the boot. Or Moomin. Actually, no, Frank may get the boot. So, and then with Frank getting the boot, then Moomin would go too, because she didn't have a connection with anyone else. So Tommy encourages Shiloh to have a conversation with Phil, just to wrap things up so they can get an idea of what to do, what the next steps will be. And so Shiloh shows up. She's all dressed up. She took that crochet bullshit out of her head, and I was like, thank you, God, because girl, it wasn't doing you no justice, girl. It had you looking like Grandma Hattie, girl. Ooh, Jesus, thank you, Lord. Now, I know my wig ain't all that. I know, but baby, they ain't putting me on TV, boo. They putting you on TV, girl. I done made sure my hair was laid, what does it say? Laid, dyed, and fried, dyed, and laid to the side. That's what I was trying to say, but see, that this cold here. But anyway, baby, I ain't on TV. You on TV. My hair would have been fried, dyed, and laid to the side, girl. But anyway, quiet as it's kept. So, moving forward, that's what we doing. But so she was dressed up, looked really nice. I liked her little. Damn, that's a hating ass word. Don't ever call somebody with your little self or your little suit or your little purse. Little is a hating ass word. Do not do that. Do not do that. But she had a nice outfit on. You heard me, and I wasn't hating. It's just, I don't know, force of habit. But anyway, She had an outfit on, and Phil literally was just kind of being really stoic with her. And so she basically was saying that she felt like he purposely, she said, when I asked you, she said, you don't know what I've been through. When I tell somebody don't touch me, don't touch me. You don't know, you know, and then she started to kind of allude to the abuse that she's experienced from before and previous, and no one is belittling that or minimizing her experience. However, that baggage is clearly coming out because this was not that case. This was not that. So Phil then says, listen, he offers a sincere apology, and I do truly believe that the apology was sincere. And he says, listen, I feel like I would have been responsible for you, so I had to make a quick judgment call. If you were walking down this alley and somebody were to hurt you or do something worse, then I would be responsible for that. And she was like, he said, I made a decision in your best interest. She responds back and says, I know what's in my best interest. And while I understood what she was saying, and she was absolutely right, she does know what's in her best interest. The other part is, how does your heart not soften after someone tells you that I was trying to make a judgment call to protect you from what I thought you were doing that could have potentially hurt you? Like, that in itself, and again, you know when somebody's telling you the truth, you know when somebody's intentionally trying to hurt you, you know when it's not genuine. You also know, or based on whether or not, you know, you've got, you know, potential baggage that could trigger things where that judgment call isn't available to you, which is what ultimately is what it sounds like. So if someone were to say that to Shiloh, she wouldn't recognize that. She automatically thinks that's in the same boat as abuse. But I don't count it as that. He was trying to make a judgment call. This is what he said. He was trying to make a judgment call that was potentially in my interest to protect me, and that's the best thing that he thought he could do. Again, I don't encourage anybody to put their hands on anybody, but also I understand what he was trying to do and why he said what he said and why he did what he did. He then stopped and asked her, do you think that I was trying to harm you? And then her answer, and this is how I know that at this point she was trying to manipulate him and still ruin his character. He says, do you feel like I was trying to intentionally harm you? She says, yes. She says, no, not physically, but yes, emotionally. Why would he be? Again, I don't know. I don't know. I was not there. However, I do not. It's just the way that he described the scenario. I don't feel like he was doing that on purpose. I do not feel like he had any type of intention to harm her or hurt her. I feel like she was very upset about the fact that he's not choosing her. His non-answer was an answer, and she did not like the answer he gave, the non-answer he gave. And so at this point now, she's angry and upset. And it's unfortunate that she handled it in that way, because now I'm looking at her like, wow, you are literally taking an inch and running a mile with it, and it didn't need to be that way. So ultimately she self-eliminates. She says, I've gotten this far. I've learned so much. Have you? I don't know. Whatever they like to say that. People just like to throw that out there, whether they've learned or not, who knows. I won't be the measuring stick. But yeah, like I just thought that the episode, it was just kind of boring. I don't know, not that the episode's boring, the season was just boring. I'm just bored. I'm ready for it to be over. But anyway, I think I say that on almost every review. Anywho, that was the show. That was Ready to Love DC. I appreciate you guys for watching. If you've come this far and waited and watched this video this long, go ahead and subscribe. I'd love to hear more from you. Go ahead and comment down below and let me know what you think about the episode, what you think about it going into Miami. That'll be interesting. I definitely know that we'll have some real characters, but I don't know if we'll have any real couples at that point. We'll have characters, but I don't know if we'll have couples. I'll just be honest with you on that one, child. But yeah, my name is Belle. This is the Belle Perspective. I appreciate you watching my channel. We are a very small channel, so but we are trying to grow. We are trying to grow, okay? So again, be a part of that growth and hit subscribe and comment and like this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Ciao.